I'll holler at you later on.
right,
All
thanks.
right.
Monica.
Have time for this. All right, ladies and germs. Not the any inauspicious beginning to our first playground, but it's all good. We're gonna go ahead and start from here. Not a problem whatsoever. My name is Mike Lang. I'm the Chief Innovation Program Officer at ed.Xtraordinary. We are a dynamic, small, wonderful group of individuals who try to look at education a little bit differently and think about things in the most innovative ways possible. So we thank you for being at our very first webinar, our very first one, first of many, hopefully. And tonight we're going to be walking through using a tool called Clayboard Pop Take. Uh, the Clayboard Pop Take model is very exciting in that if you're a teacher who's looking for an opportunity to uh, think about how we can reach our students no matter where they are, how we can lower some of the stress and the stressors that you have currently. This is going to be a great tool for you potentially. All right, lots of really, really interesting things you can do with Pop Take. So before we get started, uh, this is going to be a lot of information. It'll take us about 45 minutes or so to knock it out. You'll receive some emails from us with some refresher things, some follow up information and whatnot to hopefully ensure that you're looking at the product in a way. And if you have any questions or anything like that, we'll send the gentleman at Pop Take and Clayboard your information there as well. So we're going to kind of walk through kind of what our hustle is tonight. So let's check it out. There we go. Oop, wrong one. Yeah. All right, let me add my camera here. Realize my camera isn't there. There we go. All right, so we should be good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and change that so it's circular, and we're good. That way you can see me as I'm not talking meta. All right, so our playground series really is inspired from just in playing around with ideas. If you remember, as a kid, some of the things you used to get into, play around with, you didn't have any cares. You were really stress-free and carefree. We really want to bring that mindset to how we're looking at pedagogy, ideas, and concepts in your classroom as well. Tonight, we're going to be looking again at Pop Take, and Pop Take or Clayboard, really, really interesting tool because I think it helps us solve these three problems. Generally, in the classroom, there's not enough time. All right, I was a classroom teacher for 18 years. I totally understand that. I get it. Not enough time. And even I don't care how proficient you are with time management or with digital tools or anything. You have 7 hours and 11 minutes to make miracles happen, and oftentimes that's not enough time. There's also too many tools that you have. You're being thrown perhaps curriculum from your school district. There are tools that have been purchased by your school district in order to do certain things. You've got tools that you like personally. How do you fit all of these things and all of these competing tools in some senses so that you're allowed to utilize them all in kind of a coherent manner. And then learning management systems, whether it's Google Classroom or Schoology, or some people are like using Microsoft Teams to do this thing, or Microsoft ecosystem to do this, or Canvas. Learning those learning management systems can be an added stressor to classroom teachers. In addition, given the myriad of changes that have happened in terms of people leaving school districts and joining new ones, you might have been very comfortable with the learning management system at your previous stop, and then you get to a new school district and the learning management system perhaps isn't up to your style. So yeah, those three things, or those four ideas, are really at the foremost at the top of what we're thinking about when we start to look for solutions to those problems. The purpose for tonight. Uh, Again, it's not enough time. There are too many tools in learning management systems. How do we go ahead and make those things all coherent so that they work as seamlessly as we would like them to work? Yeah, I think we have some ideas we're going to play around with. And it'll take us about 30 minutes, 35 minutes or so, with questions and stuff. It'll take us a little bit longer, but it's all good. We're going to rock and roll and do what we need to do and handle it. All right, so let's go back here and let's take a little journey. So tonight what we're going to do is we're going to actually build a lesson. I'm going to walk you through building a lesson actually with some interesting things on them. All right, don't need that. Get my stuff set up very, very quickly. Is it that? Not that. Now as I'm doing this, again, you've got 5 million billion, I don't want that, different tools and things that are there. You've got different things competing for your attention, all of those things. Excuse me. And I can't find window that I just had up. Interesting. All right, we're just gonna make it up. All right, cool. I'm gonna set this window up while I'm talking. So one of the reasons why Clayboard PopTake, and we're gonna look at Clayboard first, and then we'll show you what the PopTake website is, because I have things built in Clayboard. And I'll walk you through this. I'm gonna archive that, and I'm gonna archive that. Excellent. One of the reasons, or the things that makes me, really excited about this particular product, is that all the things that we kind of, as educators, are frustrated by, have issues with, et cetera, these things kind of solve, or this product kind of solves. One of my chief problems as an instructor was I hated the question, what did I miss, Mr. Lang? That was my number one pet peeve, problematic question. What did we miss, Mr. Lang? And that was whether the student was out sick for 2 or 3 weeks, whether the student went to the restroom, for 20 minutes and came back. Very difficult to answer that question accurately, especially in an analog function, right? So if that kid was out and you're not utilizing a learning management system or something very efficiently, there's no way that you're going to remember 3 weeks of information in order to tell the student who was out with shingles, perhaps, what the deal was. And so that is when I begin to grapple with that question, that is where I came to using a lot of the digital tools, that would capture who I was and how I was doing things. And for that reason, I happened upon the website. At that point, it was called, I can't remember what it was, the first iteration of the product was called, but it's totally cool, not a problem. The cool thing about it, very cool thing about it actually, was that it was originally a virtual learning space, and I had enough virtual meeting tools. I don't think many parents were interested in virtual meeting tools anymore. There weren't a lot of students that were interested in virtual meeting tools anymore. It was definitely more of, how can I record myself, stack all my lessons and everything, or the attributes or the apparatus that I was going to be using during that lesson into one spot, so that a student could reasonably miss a day of school, miss a day, 2 days of school, 3 days of school, and still be right on time with what's going on. and that parents also wouldn't have to figure out what we were doing in class. They could see it and they could walk their student through what was going on, parents, family, people, etc. Also, how could I keep parents in the loop or families in the loop in terms of what was happening in the class? And so Clayboard/PopTech answered all these questions. Let's take a look here. All right, cool. So we've got, this is Clayboard, not PopTech. We'll look at PopTech at the very end of our time together, and you kind of get an opportunity to sign up for it. And here are some lessons that I put together. And the PopTech interface is going to look a little different, actually a lot different than what it looks like now. It's totally cool, but the concept, the idea is the same. And we're going to walk through this one, and then we're going to build one together. So modeling, I'm going to coach it, and then I'm going to give you some challenges over the next month or so to kind of integrate this tool into your process. So I'm going to go and click and use, not the portfolio, let's do that one. All right, so what you're going to notice here is, first of all, we've got some blocks. All right, we got some blocks here, and then we have some information. There's videos over here. There's a video for me walking my students through this tutorial. There's a live link that's there. There's a link here as well. There's another video, etc., etc. All right. And the first thing you're like, okay, well, what does this look like? All right, great. And the join room and stuff, don't worry about it. I'm going to click that. All right, I'm going to copy that link. All right, and the reason why I really dig this, friends and family, is certainly when I give a kid that link, it's like I've built my own learning management system here for them without having to do very much. So I've got my little opening deal. I've got an introduction. All right, for our first, I've got a challenge for them. This is a link for my example. It goes directly inside there. So you see that's a lot easier for a student to navigate than I shot a YouTube video or what have you. It gives me a lot of control over what I want to learn, when I want to learn, and how I want to learn it. All right. And as the teacher, all right, so I'm able to go and take all of the different pieces of this project, lay it out very nicely, so that, again, a student, a parent, anybody who's interacting with this is going to be able. All right, so we've done photographs, we've done some of the, super cool. I really dig it. I think it's like, I think it's the best tool that I found for the current job, just because it is so, it's easy to utilize. And PopTech, when we look at PopTech, excuse me, it's even easier to deal with because the crew has made a lot of upgrades and updates to it that have made it super slick and very, very linear. But we're going to use just this regular process here. Now we'll kind of shoot a tutorial video on the PopTech process later on. We're going to play around with this hustle here. But before we do that, big questions, comments, concerns, you can put them in the chat. Whether you're watching us on YouTube or you're watching us on Hey Summit or whatever, what have you, just throw those in the chat and we'll get down. We rock and roll with them. It's really interesting. I'm gonna look for, I don't see any questions yet. I don't see any questions yet. One of the most interesting things about this scenario and the situation has been how easy it is to get into Canvas. And that's what we're going to kind of really hone in on as well. But we're going to build us a little deal here. Do that. I think I got rid of all my windows. That's what my issue is. Oh, not the one I want. I think I got rid of my windows. It's all good. We'll just build them up real quick. All right, cool. So we're going to take some tools and we're going to play around with them, because I said the reason, or one of the reasons why I really like this deal, still not doing it. I really like this very much is the, let's see if it does it. Yeah, it's not doing it. It's all good. One of the things I really like about this is the fact that you can cut down on your tools, kids going different places, etc. So we're going to build something straight up. And we're going to build Hispanic Heritage Month activity for students. Very, very simple. We're going to walk them through all the different pieces and we're going to get down with it. All right. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'm going to do that as well. And let's do instructure at the end. All right. And let's see if I'll take one more. Oh, that's not what I want. Bada bang, it works. All right, cool. So we're gonna actually use PopTake to do all this and not Clayboard. So you saw kind of what Clayboard's interface looks like. Let's make it do what it does. So we're gonna Nearpod. Let's use Nearpod. Let's use some PBS. Let's use some things that are gonna kind of help us, our kids, kind of self-regulate and whatnot. And Canvas. Sound good? And perhaps we'll use like some kind of activity in which they're going to be asked to build a graphic or something. So let's use Adobe Spark, Adobe Creative Cloud, or whatever it's called. All right, cool. I think we're good. Let's play around. Yeah, I'm gonna block that. All right, cool in the game. So let's share the screen again. All right. And so PopTake again looks very similar to Clayboard. It's brother or sister. All right. And we're to create that first session, that first lesson here. All right. So let's see how we can build this all the way through. So we click that. We're going to have an opportunity for us to think. If we start to think like a lesson plan, all right. So you got all your materials ahead of you. You've got if you've got curriculum you're supposed to use, etc., etc. We're gonna just build this Hispanic Heritage Month deal. But let's call this lesson Hispanic Heritage Month poster. Let's call it that. All right, so we're good there. We're good. We're good. Now we're gonna see that it says add recording there. All right, so let's call this recording introduction. All right, cool. And before we continue, one of the things that is that we have to shy away from is the kind of the pathway that technology is replacing teachers. It's not replacing teachers. It's augmenting the ability that you have to reach your students. If we look at it that way, I think we're more likely to succeed and persevere. So this isn't a but I don't teach kids online tool. This is how can this augment my in-person instruction so that students who are EL learners have a second opportunity or third or fourth or fifth or 15th opportunity to listen to what I'm saying, I'm asking them to do and to perform it. That students who are chronically absent or chronically ill or new to my classroom are able to go back and past lessons and retrieve information that if it's simply done analog, simply done in person, that's not possible. How can I allow students who are working in groups who forget certain pieces of things, how can I give them the tools and the executive functioning strategies necessary to say, you know what, I can go back and watch that video and get to glean the pieces of information that I didn't remember, and then suddenly I'm able to do all the things that Miss Jones asked me to be able to do. So this isn't a replace the teacher. This isn't a but we're not teaching online anymore. This is a how do I augment the in-person instruction? And does it have benefits for students who are not going to be physically in the class all the time? Absolutely, positively. The other benefit to thinking in this dimension, you're going to have teachers who are absent. You're going to have teachers who are were hired, brand new hires, long-term subs, etc. This is the way we can build lessons and share them amongst a grade level as well to benefit not only the students that happen to be in our direct supervision, but every student in that school with high quality instruction, and help out our fellow instructors that might not be as seasoned or as proficient as you are. All right, so that being said, let's rock and roll. So you got that recording that's there. All right, great. I am not going to record right now. I'm just going to go to add activity. When you add activity, we can add another recording. We can add YouTube videos and things like that. Google Docs, Google Sheets. We can add multiple choice questions. We can add text. We can add links, and we can embed pages. All right, cool. Let's check this out first and foremost. So let's start out with like, hey, there's a Nearpod here, right? And Nearpod, I'm pretty sure Clark County School District still pays for Nearpod for their teachers. So I'm going to go ahead and log into Nearpod really quickly. Cool, here's Nearpod. And let's say we're looking for a Hispanic heritage, somebody like Cesar Chavez, for example, very, very famous person. All right, so with this hustle, I can do a live participation in which we're walking kids through, but I'm not going to utilize that. I want to use that student pace function there. So I'm going to click that. And great, that's fine. So there's two ways I can get this into the product. I can get it in by just copying the link, going to Hispanic Heritage Month. I'm going to make this activity a link. Now, what is it going to be? That link is going to be a Nearpod link. We're to call it Cesar. Let's call it Let's Learn About Cesar Chavez. And let's say on the button, thing the kids are going to push, learn about Cesar. Oh. All right, cool. So I got a link there. Wonderful. Now, like that preview gives me that button text. If I click the button, it sends me right to my Nearpod. So as long as your kids are logged in, or they don't have to be logged in, they can put their name there, nickname, join lesson, they're gonna rock and roll. Here's my lesson. We're good to go. All right, cool. That's a tool that I know want students to be able to utilize. I don't necessarily want to, I know you can add it to a Google slideshow, but where do you put the Google slideshow? Then the kids to come back. I want to make this process as linear as possible for my students, so they're not scampering all over the internet, being with the potential to not be able to find their way back home. We want to make sure that the breadcrumbs are very, very easy to find. So I got that. Great. So PBS Learning Media, perhaps they have something with Hispanic Heritage Month. I don't know. Let's check it out. If you're not somebody who's a PBS Learning Media person, one of my favorite sites of all time. I say that as a PBS digital innovator and whatnot, but really, really cool site to deal with, because you've got a bunch of really interesting, they have a Latino Americans situation. That's pretty cool. And if I'm thinking about Cesar Chavez, I'm probably thinking very much about farm workers, and there he happens to be on the front there. I'm also going to take that. I'm going to copy that, or I can social share this way. It'll give me it used to give me the link there, not give me the link there. So go up to the URL at the top. Let's copy that. And let's also add that as a link. Let's say primary source. For Cesar Chavez. All right, cool. Got it. Got it. Great. So those things are there. Excellent. All right. Now, we haven't added any, we just throwing resources here at this point, but I haven't like sat down and like, what are the kids going to be asked to do, et cetera, et cetera. We'll do that kind of at the end. All right. So, one of the things I like to have is a Pomodoro timer. If you're not familiar with the Pomodoro timer, really helps you kind of in terms of your social emotional health and your executive function skills. This is a tool or a set of concepts or idea rather that allow your students to be more mindful of themselves. And I think sometimes in school we lose ourselves because we're trying to get work accomplished. And how it works is you can go to settings here. It's generally one Pomodoro is 20 minutes. I make it 25 minutes just because my class at the last middle school that I taught at was 55 minutes, and so I wanted two 20-minute breaks, one 20-minute break, a 10-minute, 25-minute break, 25-minute work session, a 10-minute break, and then another 15-minute work session. And so 25, the break would be, the short break would be 10, and the long break would be 15. All right, and that will give you my 55 minutes, actually. That's wrong. That's it. All right, so first part of the class, they get a 10-minute break to kind of while out or listen to their music or talk to their friends or whatever, or just to go to the restroom or whatever, and then 15 minutes to kind of talk through things, questions and answers, anything like that. And it tend to work very well because of and generally I auto stop the breaks as well, so the kids know what they need to do. It's Pomo Focus in particular because you can log in with Google and you can therefore keep the data in yourself. Hey, this is how many Pomodoros I've done today rather. This is the number of breaks I took, all that wonderful stuff. But this in and of itself can be added to our deal here. So I'm going to add the activity. I'm going to add another link. All right. Now, the other social emotional tool that I want students to be kind of mindful of as they start to build their little graphic or whatever it is Focusable. And Focusable is, that's not what I want to do. That's the one I want. Focusable gives you the ability to assign students. So say I'm going to do a demo group here. Some opportunities to do some breathing exercises and things like that. Copy that. Hit that new button. All right. I'm going to block this right now. But say during that 10-minute break, I want to do some breathing exercises or, checking on my anxiety or go to a party and do some things. These things give you that ability, though. This product from the makers is a Swivel in Synth. Synth is now going away. That was the podcasting program that's going away. But you'll be able to, try a breathing activity, do some visualization activities, and also get up and stretch a little bit. And so these are very, very very good things to keep your students' mind full of as well. So I copied that. So perhaps I want to get them, and there's a tons of tools now that do that a similar thing. I'm gonna click that and go there. Just put SEL, breathe, visualize, and move. All right, cool. All right, so I've got these things. I want them to not deal. They're totally out of context, though. There's no context whatsoever to them. That's a problem. I just had a bunch of links, and this is unfortunately where we go a lot of times with learning management systems. It's a bunch of information, a bunch of links that don't have context, that don't have a vehicle to move our learners through each of them, and that's what we're going to add next. So I've got those. The last thing I'm going to add is Adobe Spark. Oh, the accent. Don't do that. That's what I want. Let's do that. All right, cool. And let's add the link there. Add activity. Let's see if the embed page will work. See if it'll embed. It won't embed. So some of the pages, the links will embed. Some of them won't. It's all good. I'm just gonna go back to the regular link. And I'm gonna get rid of that. Delete. Yep. All right. So graphic, and let's go Adobe Spark, Adobe Creative Cloud Express. That's what it's called. Great. So we're good. One, do, and do. All right, cool. Now, the other very cool thing about this is I didn't put these links in the order that I would like them to be. So I could move them around how I would like. I'm also going to utilize some text. All right. Contributions have X. Hispanic heritage, Hispanic. Okay, that's so crazy. Heritage contributed to the world. Am I tripping? Is that not how you spell Hispanic? Yeah, that's how you spell Hispanic. Maybe true. No, because it's there we go. So say that's my focus question. It's kind of what we're going to keep in mind. I'm going to put that right underneath the introduction. So I've got that text there. All right, great. That works. Got a link there. Which link is that? That's my Cesar Chavez deal. So it's going to serve as my example. All right, I got that primary source document. All right, we're going to do our deal there. I'm going to actually move that up. Yep, and those two can stay there. Awesome. All right, so say we're going to have a scenario in which students are going to build a poster of some sort. In the past, what you might have done is typed a whole bunch of stuff on a page, or decided you were going to try to figure out how you put things in Canvas, or take links from other places and put them in different pages. All right, what we're going to do is I'm going to click there. I'm going to add recording. All right, and when I click the add recording, if there's a Google slide situation that you have set up, all right, from your, you can bring those slides right in. All right, which is super cool. You can also have a situation where you upload a keynote or PDFs or anything like that you have, and you can essentially take that situation and do your opening, introduction to the hustle that way. I'm not going to do that. I'm simply going to straight record. So I'm going to click my mic. Yep. I'm going to allow that. Cool. And I'm going to change that so it is that camera. Actually, this is going to be very super weird. So it is what it is. I didn't think this part through very much at all. That's not what I want. Where's my snowball? There it is. Cool. So I've got that, and I am going to use. And the other thing that if you're fancy and you have a bunch of virtual cameras connected to your computer like I do, you can access those virtual cameras as well. So what I'm going to do is I am going to switch for that look. cool. Hit that continue button. And now we're gonna do browser, switch back. I knew that was gonna happen. So let's do it this way. I'll go back here, and I'm going to switch that camera. So I'm gonna mute myself there. Turn off the camera. No, use the FaceTime camera, even though you're not gonna be able to see it. It's all good. So this is what we're gonna do. Yeah, it's all good. All right. So I got my unmute there. So again, if you're someone who doesn't have a camera or would like not to use a camera or something like that, that's totally cool. If you want to go and write the notes, so you're not like just straight, top off the top of your head, rocking and rolling. You can go and type some notes. Kind of if you use Flip, that's the way that you can knock it out. Hit that record button. Get it 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Lang, and we're going to be celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month by creating posters of unsung heroes that happen to be Latinx or Hispanic, those of Hispanic heritage, and some of the ideas that they were dealing with. All right, we have a new version out right now. Cool, too. All right, super cool, great, fine, dandy. I just realized that you didn't see where I hit the record button. It's right there underneath. And now it said stop. So hit that stop button. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Lang, and we're going to be, so that's great. I believe the closed caption is working. All right, cool. So look at this. It also closed captions it, so you'll have that subtitles as well. And I can move that video wherever I would like. Also, I can re-record it if something goes wrong. But I don't need any other software. I don't need to go outside anywhere else. I don't need to go to Flipgrid and do it and bring it back or anything like that. Excuse me. Don't need to do that at all. Good to go. All right. So that's the first thing. It's just recording an introduction. Cool. Now, one of the things you're probably going to be, one of the things you're going to probably have to do is, here's this Nearpod. The kid may not know how to navigate the Nearpod. So let's go ahead and add activity. Go to recording. I'm going to take this and I'm going to move this right above. All right. I'm going to click that. I'm going to add recording. That's fine. Continue. Oh, it's doing it under that one. So I'm going to go there actually. Yeah, that should work. Click. Add recording. That's nothing like I want to do. Give me just a second. So I don't want to do that. I want to do, yep, add activity. Give me my recording. All right, cool. Let's see if it does my Nearpod now. Yes, continue. All right. And wonderful. So I'm going to screen share now. I'm going to go to screen 2. And share. And of course, I can't screen share twice. So let's not screen share. All right. The problem with having multiple screens here as well. So I'm gonna take this. Well, multiple screens while I'm recording, I guess is the problem. So I'm gonna make this a little smaller. Yeah. Indeed. I think that works. All right. But you can screen share while you're doing your recording as well. You saw the infinite loop there. You can screen share as you're doing it. So that's kind of a dope thing as well. So I get rid of, delete that. I'm going to delete that. And I'm going to add the activity, the recording. And that would be the explanation. Yes. That'll be the explanation of that Nearpod, explaining how the Nearpod works. So that works perfectly. It works there. The other things that are there, if you wanted to add multiple choice questions and things to things, multiple choices are there. All right, Google Sheets, add a spreadsheet of some sort you want students to deal with. Google Docs, which is always something that teachers are interested in. And so I'm going to add a Google Doc. I'll add a Google Doc via link in just a little while or later on, not now. All right. The Adobe Creative Cloud Express, same thing. I would go in and kind of walk through how everything works. Let's see if this. We've got all those things, all those abilities to do all those things there. All right, great, fine, dandy. All right. Once you knock that out, the issue, or one of the issues that we're attempting to solve, is the fact that I can now go through. Ladies and gentlemen, this is each of the different things, like buttons on the side. And students would be able to follow along in a far easier manner than having to go and navigate multiple pages on things. And I can go from the beginning again. I'm gonna click rid of that. And I thought I got rid of that recording, but I'm delete that one now. All right, cool. Let's see what happens if I refresh. Hopefully nobody's watching this. All right, so yeah. You know what? All right, so overall, that's how we do what we need to do, and the only piece that we didn't do is add it to Canvas, but I'll add it to Canvas shortly. Thank you for watching, and we'll